This is a series of videos on integrating non-duality with Native teachings. And I'd like to stop for a minute and talk about appropriating other cultures, appropriating Native cultures. If you've been following what I've been saying, this will probably start making some sense to you. If it doesn't make any sense at all, then you need to go to my website and follow the course through. Appropriating other cultures. The problem isn't actually doing it, stealing stuff from other cultures, particularly Native cultures. The problem is the fact that we can do it at all, that our thought concepts are such that we're capable of having this be a thing. For instance, one of the big things we talk about here in America is that white men came in and stole native lands, which isn't true at all. The land, like I'm sitting here on the land, I'm in America. The land has not been stolen. You can't steal the land. It hasn't been taken away somewhere. What really happened is that white people, the conquering culture, from centuries ago, developed a concept that it was possible to own land and set up structures that made owning land not only possible, but like almost literally required to survive. So without the concept of owning land, you can't steal it. So we didn't actually steal the land. What we did is occupied it, right? We divided it up into pieces and gave each other pieces of paper that said, you own this and I own this. So it's the concept of the possibility of owning land that is the problem. The land wasn't stolen, it's still here. So this is the same thing about appropriating Native cultures. Just the very fact that we have this idea of owning things. I mean, we even think that we can own a way of being, that we can come in and take outside images of this culture and put it on ourselves. Like if I just put on clothes from a particular culture, then, I kind of feel like I belong to that culture. So it's just this very fact that that our thought processes allow us to split the world into these various levels of ownership and hierarchy. That's the problem, not actually wearing the clothes. And on top of that, what's really the issue is the fact that this sense of ownership, this dividing the world into separate pieces, divides us from the world. So for centuries and centuries, the culture that I come from and that more than likely you come from has this idea that I'm an individual and that I can own things and that I'm separate from you and I'm here and over there's a tree, I'm here and over there's a mountain. In Native and Indigenous cultures, everything is the same. The mountain is my relation. It's my relationship with the mountain instead of me here and mountain there. So it's this sense of separation that we have carried for centuries and that is so embedded in our culture that it leaves us with a hollowness inside that can't be filled. And this is what our whole economy is built on. The fact that we need more and more and more in order to feel full. We need more everything. We need more ideas. That's why we think and read books and watch things. We need more love, you know, filling the empty, endless, bottomless pit with love. We need more things to make us feel good because of this innate sense of brokenness. So it's this sense of brokenness then that makes us look at a native culture and think, oh, they have something that we don't have. I want it. And you try to take it by putting on the trappings of it, you know, singing a song, playing a rattle, doing something, rather than actually listening to the deep inner wisdom that's there. Native cultures want to share their deep inner wisdom with us, because if we can learn from them, we can stop destroying things. So the appropriating, it's the fact that we're able to live in this appropriating fantasy inside of our heads that we need to suck in the native culture to make ourselves more whole. That's the problem. It's destructive for them. We've done enough to them, right? So don't do it. Here's another little example. It's so embedded into us to want to own things. Have you ever walked along and seen a pretty little rock? And you pick up the rock and, it's so pretty, and you put it in your pocket and you take it home and keep it. Our desire to own things is so deep that we don't even notice ourselves doing that. But like in a native culture, you would just never do that because that's Mother Earth. Why would you pick up Mother Earth and try to own the pretty little rock? Instead, you just enjoy the rock and move on. And I'm not saying it's bad to do that, although, yeah, there are some native cultures that will say it's very bad to do that. If you pick up a rock and take it someplace else, you've disturbed the energy of the earth and you actually create bad luck for yourself. But what I want you to notice is just that urge. The urge. You see a pretty rock. Oh, pick it up, own it, and keep it. That urge is so deep inside of us. That's the same urge that we use to appropriate other cultures. Another thing is every small child, every adult, you take a child down to the river, down to the lake or the creek. What do? You stand there and you throw rocks in. We teach kids that from the very beginning. We learned that from ourselves from day one, from the adults that were taking care of us. But like, who am I to stand there, take the rocks that are on the side of the river and throw them in and throw them in and throw them in? So it's, again, it's not like, oh, that's bad, stop doing it. It's like, have you ever even noticed that you do that? Our sense of separation from the world is so deep and so intense, and it's this sense of separation that is the problem that turns into what we call appropriating other cultures. It's one thing that's really funny about reading lots of Native American wisdom speakers is they're always talking about all the new agey people that come to the Native American dances and want to be let in, and how disruptive that is when they're trying to get their culture back together, and here we are, just these needy, tourists that come in and want to take what little they have left from them before they've even had a chance to build it back from the recent history that's been so damaging. So appropriating Native cultures, think about it. Now I want to offer a solution. And this is why I'm doing the intersection of non-duality and native wisdom. We don't need to do that. We do not need to do that. We can back off. Give all the various native peoples across the world landscape, give them time to rebuild their cultures and bring their wisdom to us in ways that they want to bring it to us. We do not need to steal their stuff. We have everything that we need to come back to self-knowledge of ourselves, to drop our addiction to our conditionings. And if you've listened to this video from the beginning all the way through here, thanks for staying, and start to understand what I'm talking about a little bit, you'll notice that you probably never even thought about the picking up the rock thing, that you were taking something and trying to own it, and just how deep that urge is. What non-duality and enlightenment teachings are telling us is that we have the ability to find out who we are underneath these conditionings. So then we're able to just look at that activity dispassionately and go, crazy. Where did that come from? Why do I have that urge? Why does every single one of us have that urge? And kind of look at it as the urge is not me. It's something I've been taught. It's something I've been given. And so if you can come down, if you can find out who you are underneath the attachment to all of these conditionings that you've been giving, then you are now a solid human being. You are someone who can be an ally to the earth itself, rather than trying to own things. And ultimately, the ultimate realization that you're kind of nothing. You don't even own your thoughts. They're just crazy things that go on in your head. You're nothing, but you exist. You are the one that is the master of your life and of your existence. You can exist without your conditionings. That's you. Step back into that being of you, and you become a full participant in life. Sidebar, it has nothing to do whatsoever with completely disassociating yourself from life. It has to do with becoming life itself, aware of yourself. This is what we're trying to do with non-duality. And then we can meet the world and our native brothers and sisters from a place of aliveness.